Hey guys, Envy here. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to another episode of Rocket League Mastery. Today I'll give you tips that you should utilize depending on the elo you're in order to climb much faster and learn more efficiently. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. First of all, let's focus on the bronze and silver elo. This is where you most definitely have started your journey as a player, and to be honest, there's not really any certain mechanic you need to learn at this point. What matters the most is that you simply get used to controlling your car and touch the ball somewhat consistently. That's actually all you need to climb to the next rank. Now that we are gold, we are somewhat able to control our car properly, but staying on the ground most of the time limits us. This is where you want to optimize your movements and learn to aerial. Specific mechanics that you should learn now are power shots, the half flip, and potentially the fast aerial. To keep this video short and crisp, I'm not going to show you how to do all of these mechanics right now. Instead, I'll link well-made in-depth tutorials in the description down below. Now that we've picked up some fundamental skills, we're going to reach platinum in no time flat. Up here, this is the point where we want to get the hang of ball control. In this elo, you should practice dribbling and air dribbles. You don't need to make it overly complex and fancy, keep it simple for now. Simply being able to control the ball with those two mechanics consistently will make it easy for you to crush the competition. Finally, we've made it to Diamond. We're finally in high elo, right? Yeah, no, not really. We're not even close yet, but we can change that with a crap ton of effort. This is the point where mechanics and discipline will be your greatest weapons to beat your opponents into submission. For mechanics, now's a good time to learn various ways to flick the ball. And no, I don't mean musty and breezy flicks, don't get ahead of yourself. 45-degree flicks are all you need. As for theoretical concepts, this is the point where you should actually learn how to think about the game. Shadow defense, basic rotation, boost respawn timers, spatial awareness and all that juicy stuff. This is the elo you want to finally start to use your brain in. And once you've implemented all those things properly, you're going to arrive in one of the most annoying elos to be in. Welcome to Diamond 3 and Champ 1. If elo hell exists, this is it. This is one of the most toxic places inside of the entire community, but that's not what makes it so horrible. The reason why this elo is so annoying is because everyone knows one or two basic concepts, but no one's actually implementing all the fundamental skills that define high elo gameplay. And the reason that's so annoying to deal with is because that means there's no well-rounded players in this elo. So this elo sucks, we get it, but what can we do to climb out of it? First of all, learn more about theory, like all you can possibly find. If you got great, consistent mechanics, that's cool, but your fancy double touches will not get you out of here. What gets you out of there is the ability to adapt to your teammates' weaknesses. If you realize that your teammate has decent mechanics and is really solid in the offense, but he has no idea how to deal with the opponents when they're about to score, that's where you've got to back him up. Take your teammate into consideration on every single decision that you make in-game. Keep good track of him so you don't make the wrong calls. This will be a tedious climb, but eventually you'll see the light again. Now that you've made it into Champ 2, first of all, psych, it's not nearly as great as I just made it out to be. It's also a shithole, but it's more bearable, so congrats on making it this far. This elo is pretty weird, to put it simply. If you made it this far, this is where you should fully master all the fundamental skills. No, you're not supposed to commit as last man, no, you're not going to jump for something when the opponent is literally about to hit it, and no, you're not going for that ceiling shot just because you have the option to. Discipline, discipline, discipline. When your opponent makes a mistake, it's your job to make sure that it doesn't go unpunished. When they're out of position, smash it straight towards their net and threaten a quick goal. When they are taking too long to shoot it at the goal that your teammate is defending, bump or demo them from behind so they no longer exert any pressure. If you know they're out of boost, make sure they're not able to pick up a big boost pad, and if they still manage to do so, find a good way to punish it. And if you implement these concepts and refine your game sense, you'll finally start to fully understand high-level gameplay. We have finally made it to Champ 3. We are better than ever and enthusiastic to keep going. But this is where it becomes truly hard to climb. You will not be able to leave this elo if you do not constantly surpass your opponent in skill and game sense. So what do we do to achieve that? We work on our mechanics more. Not just any mechanic, all of them. We need to learn to double touch consistently. We've got to be able to air dribble whenever we want to. We need to be so good at dribbling and flicking that we can mind game our opponents just by flicking differently every time. But that's not quite all it takes. Push yourself to the utmost limits of your capabilities. If you fail, figure out why and learn from it. Implement the gained knowledge into your thought process, rinse and repeat, until you eventually go beyond what you've been able to do. Grand Champ. This elo is something that any beginner dreams of achieving, and you finally made it here. So we are in high elo now, right? Well, about that, we're not quite there yet, but we're close, that's a fact. So what do we do to enter high elo? Essentially, we do what we did to climb out of Champ 3 in the first place. We push ourselves beyond our limits with everything we do. But up here, in order to climb, we're not allowed to make any mistakes. What matters the most is that no matter how much you improve, from this point on you must maintain a good consistency. Otherwise you'll hit an invisible barrier and this will be a dead end for you as a player. We've defied the odds. We've made it out of Grand Champ 1 and are finally vibing in Grand Champ 2. This is the point where I will allow you to consider yourself a high elo player. You've made it beyond what most people will ever reach and even surpassed my peak rank. You've done a good job, however, climbing any further than this is something that even I, someone who has worked with SSLs before, have yet to understand. So I will cover the depths of high elo in a separate video in the future. And that's all I've got for you today, folks. If you have any questions or feedback, leave them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It only takes a couple of seconds and it really helps a small content creator like me to grow. In case you'd like to be a part of my community, feel free to join my Discord, which is linked in the description down below. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Envy. Have a good one.